I don't know.
Hey,
There we go. Okay. Hello.
there
Okay.
you go.
You didn't have to shout. I can tell you're enthusiastic about it. Okay. What's up, internet? Internet gods, please be on our side today. Okay.
Well,
Okay. Come on.
one thing, Carla, one thing for sure is that we will be going to two different places today. Actually, three, other than the Philippines. We're gonna go from Los Angeles and we're gonna go to New Jersey. We're gonna connect people to just to say an awesome and epic artist, of course, 88 Rising, Paradise Rising. Let's welcome our first artist. Yeah, here we go. Give it up for GuapDad4000.
Hey. Hi, GuapDad.
What's
Love the
good?
name.
How y'all doing? How y'all doing?
We're good. How about you? How have you been? Before anything else, how are you?
I'm good. I'm in a great place. I'm just, still working and trying to stay busy.
Mm,
Gotta
definitely busy. I think we can all agree that you have definitely been busy, and 2021 is looking to be a really good year for you, which is the kind of news I think everybody needs right now. At
Yes.
this point, everyone's win and everyone's success for me should be shared, especially for somebody like you. You know, you're super talented. You're also Filipino. Let's just put that
say,
out there.
Come
So
on.
we're already claiming you because that's what Filipinos do.
let's
We
do.
find out there's a Filipino, it's like, okay, you're ours.
Yeah.
Okay?
I'm
Can
gonna
you
have to
tell us
get
about?
tapped in.
I mean, can you tell us all about being Pinoy? Did you grow up here? Were you born here? Then you moved there? What's the story behind that?
I grew up in Oakland, California. My mother was the last of my Lola's kids to be born in the Philippines, and then she moved out here when she was super young, and
Mhm.
as was raised me in California. But that's the side of. I mean, it's usually always the mother's side of that Filipino. To be honest, that's usually how it goes. So that's the side that I grew up with the most, which is why I relate to my Filipino roots so much because I grew up in it and around it.
Mhm. I
That's
mean,
so wonderful.
when I heard the name Guap Dad, I wanted to ask this: is it like connected to being Filipino? Because
Yeah,
guap means guapo,
yeah,
guapong dad. Is it
yeah.
connected
That's
to it?
exactly where it's from. It's super funny because I couldn't come up with anything for Pogi, so I was like, all right, it got to be Guapo then.
I think that's so
It
adorable.
was too
Oh my
hard to come up
goodness.
with something sounded cool. Everything sounded kind of creepy, so I was like, all right,
Uh,
I'm gonna switch words.
I mean, we're coming up with a rap name. I mean, a rapper name. That's gonna be stuck to you for a long time. So how did
Yeah,
you
you
decide
got
on
to
that?
stick
Did
with
you have
that.
like? I mean, how did you come up with that name?
Me and Kaylani wanted to bring back AIM. We're gonna go get sidekicks for T-Mobile and try to like bring it back and make it a new movement. But
Mhm.
this was back when 3G had first came out and sidekicks had no 3G capability. So T-Mobile was like, "No, we're not doing that." So, but the name stuck. The name stuck, and if I'm here now, built a whole career off of it. GuapDad4000, and it's something that I like it so much because you don't forget it. Once you memorize it one time, you remember it forever.
That's
Dude, it's
true. And it does have a nod to like the early 2000s when everyone's username had some number, some shortened, like funny thing. And I love that it's stuck. But Guapdad, Filipinos are really known to be a very musical people. We love singing, we love dancing. I mean, was that always something you did growing up? Was music always a big part of your life? That's why you've turned it into your career?
Um, I've always been surrounded by creativity. All my life, it's been I've been surrounded by art, murals, hip hop, and different facets of it, different sounds. The Bay
Mhm.
Area is a real cesspool, even of just culture and
Mhm.
innovation and creativity. So, being from where I'm from, I kind of get a lot of that, just get a lot of that inspiration. And then on top of that, both races that I am, black and Filipino, are super into the arts and super into music and singing and creativity. So it's like that. I feel like I was kind of destined. It was gonna happen regardless.
Hmm.
But the cool thing there, the Oakland scene, of course, we all know the whole hype you movement, Nump Trump doing the thing. And you're the one who's representing now this 2021. Now,
Yeah,
in comes, of course, a producer that spotted you, that got you in this. Oh,
yeah.
Carla, what? Grammy winning producer. Yeah,
Mm.
he has a lot of plaques in the background. We're going to get to know him. He's going to be joining us from New Jersey. Give it up for none other than Ill Mind.
Hey, LLMind.
What's
Yeah.
up?
What's up,
I
guys?
feel I feel so untalented right now.
Oh,
I
no,
mean,
no.
you've got this creative, incredible artist. You've got another amazing artist slash producer, and it's just like I feel so talentless. But enough about me. Ill mind. I mean, first of all, wow. I mean, that wall behind you speaks for itself. Like, dude, how does it feel to be you?
Oh no, this is all fake. This is a green screen right now. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's incredible. I mean, I wake up every day and I'm reminded. These are really just reminders to myself that like I'm on the right path, and it's humbling every time. I get to wake up and do what I love and do this and create these memories, and I'm just humbled and happy to be here. Honestly, it's been a long journey and a lot of ups and downs, a lot of sacrifice, and we're still here. So I'm just happy to be here.
You see that,
Amen.
Carla? It's over 3 million sold. I was reading
I
the
know.
background. I was like,
It's
Ill,
Khalid.
Yeah,
when you,
Ill's wall is
Don't worry,
crazy.
right?
there's
Let's
a
take a look at your wall, Guap. Look at
there's
the
a
shoe
room back
collection there in the background, and yeah, I mean, okay. So how were you guys able to meet each other? How were you guys able to collaborate and work together?
Man, Ill, did you hit me or did I hit you? I don't know who hit who first, but I remember talking to him. He was like, "Yo, I'm in LA. You should come pull up. Let's try some ideas. I'm a fan of you." And I'm like, "What? That's your ill mind. Why are you even DMing me right now? I can't believe none of this." And I pulled up. As soon as I walked in, it was like, it's real. I call him Kuya for a reason because it was just like I already knew him. It was just big brother
Aw.
right there.
Yeah, I felt the same exact way. Like, I felt like I knew him, and when I first heard his music, I was just like, every time I go to LA, obviously before pandemic, I used to go to LA and just rent out studios and lock in with different artists. And Guap was always one of those artists that I always just wanted to like get in a room with. I knew I could
Mhm.
easily like DM him and send him beats or whatever, but I knew we would click if we were in the same room together. So I invited him to a studio, and he pulled up, and literally, I remember so clearly. He walked in with just like, I think they were like Fendi boxers and like no shirt. Like he just pulled up gangster style, and I saw him, and I was like, I dapped him up, and I was like, "Yo, this dude's ready to rap." Like, and I literally felt like he was my cousin. Like seriously, like it was weird. It was the first time we met in person, but I felt like I knew him for ages. So we ended up making like how many songs that night? Guap, like 4 songs.
Three or
Yeah.
four.
So
Do
I
you
mean,
guys think that being Filipino also helped strengthen the connection that you guys have? Because it's one thing to meet another artist. It's another to meet one from the same country, especially a hometown. You both grew up in the States, so you're both not, you didn't grow up here in the Philippines, but to have that connection, do you think that helped as well with the music that you guys created together?
Oh, most definitely. It was just I feel like it's cool to pull from places individually, but when you have like
Mm-hmm.
so much in common with the way somebody else was raised and what they ate and all of these cultural similarities because we're the same thing, then you find now both creators in this space can pull from the same inspiration, and if that's double the power. So I'm sure it only enhanced everything.
yeah, it was
How
definitely the
about for
cherry.
you, Amine?
Yeah, it was the cherry on top for sure. Like just loving the music, but then like loving it even before knowing that GuapDad was Filipino, and like finding out that he was is just the cherry on top. And that's happened a few times, and I'm starting to realize that, like, man, all the super super talented producers, artists, singers got some Filipino in them, and I don't think it's a coincidence.
It's
So
not. It's not. It's on purpose. It's by design.
Filipinos are taking over the world, guys.
yeah.
I mean, for you two to get the music going, and of course, being Pinoy, what are the challenges that you guys had to face in the genre, and also in the audience share as well, and trying to break in there, and making it and getting all that plaques, getting all that money, and all that success? What were the challenges that you guys had to face?
I mean, I could say immediately. One of the challenges that me and Il faced personally was just going through the motions of making an album in the middle of a pandemic, and Ill's going through his own things. Unfortunately, we both have suffered deep family losses recently, and it's hard to stay focused in a world that seems so against your focus. And that was one of the biggest challenges for me, I could say personally, and I know Il felt the same way. So it only strengthens our camaraderie to be able to be aware of each other's personal traumas and still come together and make something so cool and beautiful and try to put that positivity out there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and just the idea of, being, basically a minority in this genre that we're participating in. Like for me, as a side note, like when I was, coming up as a producer, it was like, who's the, the Asian producer who makes like hip hop beats, and like back then when I first started, the climate was a lot different. It was very like there was a lot of gatekeepers, that were like, okay, who's this like Asian kid? They didn't even know, like a lot of people didn't really know like understand what Filipino was, right? So I was sort of like there, and I was just focused so much on the music. And I think for me, like being Filipino, it actually made me so proud, because when I would walk into a studio and I would be the only Filipino kid there, or when I would, produce for a certain project, it would be, one of the few Filipinos that would be on that project. And it would allow for, like, people would remember that. You know what I mean? Like, people would remember. I remember when I first worked with G Unit, when 50 Cent and G Unit were like huge. That was when I got like my first big break. And I remember the president of G Unit Records at the time, when he signed me to a little production deal, the first thing he said to me was, and he knew I was Filipino. The first thing he said was, "Man, your beats are fire, man. Like, you're like the Filipino fire." He called me. This was like in 2007, like when I was just like really just trying to hit it out. So, it's like stuff like that. I think from my own experience, it's really been a blessing. And, I try to represent and carry the flag as much as I possibly can, because I'm super proud to be Filipino and to be doing this.
It's so wonderful to be able to hear you guys say that you're proud to be Filipino and you're never going to shy away from that fact. LLMind, you've worked with so many amazing artists. I mean, from your wall alone, we can already see that, right? Like Drake, Ariana, Luda, 50 Cent, like all these people. What was it about GuapDad, aside from, him being Filipino and whatnot? What was it about him that you were like, you know what? I'm going to work on an album with this guy and he's going to be like this huge thing. Like, what was special? What do you think is so special about GuapDad?
He has fun with the music, and he can rap better than most rappers, and his melodies are insane. You know what I mean? And like, he's just a really fire artist. And like, before I met Guap, I was like following him and following his transition into these different things, these different like activations where it's like, you see him like with the craziest spitters of his generation and of our generation. And then you see him over here doing crazy stuff over here. And it's like, man, like this artist GuapDad is just executing on all these different things, and he's independent and he's moving around so crazy. Like, he's the future, because not only is his music so sick, but he's moving as someone who will never, ever, ever stop until they get to where they want to be. And those are the types of artists and producers and musicians that I gravitate towards, is people who are super hungry, super passionate, artsy, super artistic. And Guap is one of the few, you know, and to be able to do a whole album with him, and for him to trust me enough to pull this vision with him, this creative vision, is super humbling and super exciting for me. You know what I mean? So, you know, that he's an anomaly, this guy.
You know, for those that are tuning in, for those that are watching us,
I
have
love the bromance.
representing, of course, the Philippines and beyond. You have LLMind who's joining us from New Jersey, sipping some ginger tea, and we have GuapDad4000 joining us from Los Angeles. So, you know, LLMind, we know, and we've seen you on Jokoy's Netflix special, and we've seen you spotting some producers, just like, you know, Med Messiah as well, you know, and the different talents that we have here. You know, how will it, I mean, how much do you think it will take for us to break through the international scene?
Well, you know, first off, you know, especially after my trip in the Philippines, and shout to Med Messiah, shout to you know, the big homie Joe Coy, everyone who was out there that accommodated us. The talent level is there, like the singers, rappers, the b-boys, the DJs, just the there's such a talented hub of creators in the Philippines. And I'll be honest with you, like, I don't have all the answers, but what my instinct tells me is that there needs to be some type of momentum, right? Or maybe even like a bridge of some sort to just get this momentum going and to get this product out here. I mean, it's already happening, you know, like, I think there's a lot of amazing people out there who are working really hard to get, you know, Filipino hip hop and just Filipino culture in general out to the world. And it's slowly happening before our eyes. So I think, you know, I really want to just like give the credit and you know, celebrate all the people who are putting in the work to make this happen. And I think through consistency and good music and good art, I think we'll prevail, you know, but it's going to take time, and we just have to stay persistent.
So there it is, man. I mean, you know, this is exciting times, of course. We all know that this is a whole pandemic thing, but with 88 Rising, Paradise Rising, share with us that experience of being a part of that.
I think it's been super humbling, man, to be at the forefront of such a wave. And I think, just to piggyback off even what Il was saying, the things that we're doing right now with this music, and with partnering with Paradise Rising and 88 Rising, and being a part of a program in music that wants to highlight what people like us are doing, what Filipino people are doing. I think I think it's something to be proud about. I think it's something that can set up the stage for that type of bridge to be built for anybody, creatives back home in the Philippines and other Filipino American creatives, to kind of come out and wear our culture and ethnicity as a trophy, as armor, as a medal of something to be proud of, you know?
So
Well, I have
when
a question. Wait, I have a question, Rico. Because, you know, Guapdad, you get so many like compliments and accolades from, you know, LLMind and all these other publications saying that you're really the next big thing. There's so many amazing things in store for everybody because of you and your music. Is there any pressure that you feel? Or like, do you get stressed out like, oh man, like everybody is hyping me up. I gotta perform. Or are you like, well, you know, they speaking the truth or whatever?
It's a mix of both, because I do honestly feel the same way. I feel like they're speaking the truth. I do feel like I'm gonna be huge. I feel like I'm gonna be one of the biggest artists ever in the world, and people will celebrate my effort that I put into my art and creativity. I do feel that way, and because I feel that way, sometimes I do feel the pressure. But I feel like, you feel it's natural to feel pressure. Whether you fold is up to you, and it's up to your character and your own mental dexterity. But I do feel the pressure sometimes. I just like it, and I perform better under pressure because I like attention.
Hey, that's what it's all about. Okay, we know right now that y'all are gonna make bank. Y'all make a lot of money already because you're hip hop rappers and all that. What was, on the show? We do have all our questions, so we just asked the most random questions. What was the biggest paycheck and the biggest purchase you've ever made?
My couch. Yeah,
Oh.
my couch. I'm really into modular sofas and retro furniture. I got an Italian modular sofa. Yeah, that's probably the most expensive thing I ever spent my own money on.
How
He's
about
such a Tito of Manila.
Right? Like, how old is it now? Oh, my couch. That's like the oldest. I should have said, oh,
Couch.
You should have said like, I've got these insane shoes or like this diamond, watch. You're like, listen, I'm super into modular couches right now, and honey, the back support that it offers, that's a rapper right there. That is a rapper. How about you, Ilmine?
I have a diamond encrusted in my head. I'm just kidding. You know what? I'll be 100% transparent with you guys. I haven't really splurged on like anything big. Like, I sort of splurge on like lifestyle. Like I have an accountant and everything, and like money is super important, but it's like the thing I realize about money is like it's sort of an afterthought after music, after the passion, and all that. And so I don't really have much desire of like spending crazy money. But recently, my wife and I just bought some land. So we bought some land and we're building a house from scratch, which we're super, super humbled and very excited about. And she's actually she's due. We're having a baby girl. She's due March 11th. So I'm going to be a dad, and I'm sure I'll be spending a lot of money. We bought all the crib and the strollers and all that stuff. So I'll be spending most of my money on diapers and maybe some stuff to help me go to sleep. I don't know. I'll be honest. I'm a little washed.
First of all, congratulations. A baby is such a blessing, especially in the middle of this pandemic. I think we can all agree a baby is such a welcome gift. And I love, Ilmine, how you're like, money is an afterthought. I don't really spend. You say that, and there's like a Gucci cap behind you and a Supreme toolbox. And it's kind of like, yeah, I wanna reach the level of Ilmind where literally the afterthought is the Supreme. Honey, it's the Gucci cap at the back. You didn't even try to hide it. And the Supreme toolbox. Do you have the Supreme bricks? Because then we have to talk. I need to have a talk with your accountant, okay?
I don't really like spending, like
Oh, you guys are so funny. Oh, GuapDad has something. GuapDad has something.
Got that.
I got these from a fan. I swear to God. Look.
Okay, let's do some show and tell. Let's see.
They sent it to me with a card that I don't want to read because it was super personal. But shout out.
Look at that.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
I just opened it like 2 days ago. I was gonna make him a whole Instagram video. It was crazy, but I have Dior.
How you gonna rock that? How you gonna rock that during pandemic? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, that's what we got camera phones for.
That's true. Instagram, or it didn't happen. And who says you can't dress up to head to your kitchen? Anyway, guys, I mean, we're honestly so excited for all of the music that you guys are making for us and that you're going to launch. Please, like, what can fans expect from this album? What can they expect from you, GuapDad, moving forward? Ilmind, I mean, this is a time really where people are so hungry for new music and they're so eager to listen to music. So what can fans expect from this insane collaboration?
I can say immediately it's some of the best music I've ever made. So if they're already GuapDad fans, it's gonna be nothing but a bonus for them because they get to grow with me to the next step of how I'm sounding and how things are working. And if you're a new fan, you got a whole new world to dive into. Like we really made this thing an atmosphere. It feels It feels bigger and better than everything else I've ever done. All of the music is great. It sounds like a hit. So enjoy it.
Yep. I'm pretty
How
much
about
on
you,
the
Mine?
same page. Like I'm super proud of the album. It's some of my best work as well on the beats, and I'm thankful that Guap trusted me enough to put this vision together for him and with him, and I'm super. For a long time, I've just always been really like very super particular and kind of somewhat like picky with who I work with because I always just want to deliver the best for the person I'm working with. And if I'm not feeling like super, super excited and inspired to work with the person, it's really hard for me to do my job as a producer.
Mm.
And Guap made my job so easy because you know, he's so good at what he does. And it was just so fun. We had such a good time putting this thing together. And I had so much fun putting beats together. It'll translate into music. And I think you guys are really going to hear it and hopefully enjoy it. So I'm excited. It's again some of my best work as well, and a lot more to come from us. We have a couple surprises too. So
Yes. Oh, do we? Oh, do we?
oh boy, oh boy.
And how can they
Okay.
get a copy of the album?
What'd you say?
How can they get a copy of the album? And when will the album be dropping?
The album is called 1176. I named it after the house that I grew up in Oakland that I lost about a year and a half ago. It's something real personal. Will be out on all streaming platforms March 19th, along with our last single, Chicken Adobo, off the album.
I love it. What a nod to being Filipino. Now, speaking of surprises, GuapDad, before we go, you said it yourself a while ago, like you were willing to just, spontaneously rap for us. You were just willing to perform for us. So, I mean, I'm excited. The monsters are excited. Let's have a monster exclusive, please. Can you just drop
Okay, let's do it.
some verses?
Yeah, let's do it.
You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Acapella.
Acapella?
Yeah. Or you got
If I do acapella, I'll do because I was gonna actually freestyle because rappers are always scared to actually freestyle. I was gonna do that, but if you want me to go
Freestyle. Don't listen to Rico. Don't listen to
freestyle,
Rico.
I gotta have a beat though, so I could kind of vibe with it. If it's not that
you got a beat with you right there? Can you play a beat?
I can't. Do I have a beat? Can I cuss on this freestyle?
No.
There are children.
Just making sure.
There are children. There's children watching and listening. Maybe no.
With that said, y'all might want to play a beat because then I can't even write nothing that I wrote. It's gonna be out of this world.
Rico.
Beat right now, like.
Hey, play.
There we go. LLMind. We got LLMind as a beat producer. He's gonna snap.
Yeah.
Yeah. Snaps.
Yeah. Quitting no habits I thought that I was done with. I mean, in Ponce, what it do to you?
Hey.
Make some lumpia.
Hey.
I'm finna go home. Come to adobo. All on the couch. Warm rice. Put it in my mouth. I'm a boss. Sauce like Monty Moss. What the cost? All I do is fly.
Oh man!
I'm sorry, but that was we recorded that, so that has to be like your next hit single about being Filipino. That was so.
I got it. We put it on.
That was so good.
We're gonna make that into a real song.
Yes.
Please do.
What they want.
Please do.
That's it.
Give the Filipinos, give the world what they want.
And Guap and Il, you know what the tagline of Bang Tomas here is for our commercial. is mapaparap ka sa sarap ng Mang Tomas.
Yeah, that's the
The-
tagline. Mapaparap sa sarap.
and
We got to put that in the song.
Wow.
well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you guys very much for taking time to join us, to share with us, of course, life, culture, and of course the music, and celebrating GuapDad4000 and LLMind. We're excited for March 19th for the drop of it, 88 Rising
Yes.
Paradise. Thank you guys very much once again from New Jersey. And also from Los Angeles, California. Give it up for LLMind and GuapDad.
Hey, bye
Like-
guys. Oh, mahal kita. That's so cute. Bye guys.
Peace.
All right, there you have it, Carla.
Oh.
My goodness.
Filipino pride right there. Filipino pride. We hope you monsters are excited. Remember, it's not every day that you get to meet and hear from two incredible artists who just so happen to be Filipino and have got amazing music coming our way. So I hope you monsters are excited for that. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget you can like it and share it as well and get excited. March 19th. Oh my gosh. GuapDad4000 takes over the world.
That's what it's all about. And it's nice to always spot Filipino artists making it globally and stopping by, here on the Monster from Weedy. Now we have GuapDad.
Mhm.
Oh my goodness. But yeah, there you have it. For everybody watching, thank you guys very much for taking time. She is Carla Aguas.
He's Rico Robles Live.